All right, so let's make a tumbler. We're gonna do the Grinch. Handle, screw, screw. Take off the screws. Once you take off the screws, okay, this way. Okay, screws. You're gonna have to bend those flaps down, otherwise it's gonna interrupt with your laser, okay? So bend those flaps down, and then you're gonna put it in your machine right like this. All right, here's the machine. I usually try to line this up as best as I can with the line that's here. Let's see the line that's in there from where the seam is, right there. Okay, so just try to line that up. Just use it as an example. Make sure this is pushed all the way back, okay? We're gonna put our tumbler in here with the tabs up. Over here in the corner, there's, oops, okay. I guess you guys need to see what pieces I use, right? All right, just a little triple little nodules, okay? Put it in here. Now I usually start with these pieces sticking out, so there's 3 of them. So you start with the pieces sticking out, just grab this little ring, and just twist it against itself. So you're turning this one this way and the cup this way at the same time, okay? Just till it's finger tight. And you're gonna take this and you're gonna take your finger and push till it's even with the steel of the cup. Then you take the second one, push till it's even. Take the third one, push till it's even. Oh boy. Oh boy. My laser ran out of time. It's getting annoyed with my shenanigans. All right. So, press, press, press. You want it as even as possible, okay? And you're going to take your little key here, and we're going to continue that. So, turn it counterclockwise so that you'll lock it in real good and tight. We want this thing to not go anywhere. Double check it. That looks about even. Okay, that's about even. And then that one's about even. This is the point where you're supposed to take your level and put your level right there in the middle and check the level. I'm not going to do that because I lost my level. So I'm just going to trust myself that I put this here, put the level in here, and then you're going to use this guy to level it out. And then you're going to... Okay. So this guy, you're going to put all the way down on the ground. You want it to slide easily out of there, okay? Feel it. Make sure that it's going to be like right in the center of the cup, okay? I just lift it up for support so that it doesn't lose its traction, okay? We don't want to actually lift the cup, but what you're going to do is you're going to put your level right here, and then you're going to lift this until the bubble is even. Like I said, I lost my level, so I don't know where the even button is or how to make it like that, so I'm just going to wing it. You should not do this. Yep, looks about good to me. Okay, close the machine. Now we're going to get to the computer part. Okay, so here's my design. You probably don't know any part of this, so what we're going to do is you're going to go up to image, then you're going to select. If you have a PDF or wherever it's at, select it and bring it in, okay? Once you have it in, I'm going to do this in 2 parts. So there's the bottom part and the top part. So one of these I'm going to click on. I'm going to select it, okay? What I do with all of them for lasering is I do the black and white, okay? And then if it's grayscale at all, I'll take this and I'll slide it all the way this way. Then I'll make it just solid black and white so there's no variance in the power of the laser. Leave the sharpness alone. You don't really need to mess with any of that. Power, I do 80. Speed, 250. And then I do 200 lines, okay? Leave it at grayscale, bidirectional. That's all fine and dandy. We're going to scroll this up. We're going to click out of here. We're going to auto test. Silas, can you give me a minute, please? blah, 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 blanky, 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 5.1. That's how far it is. Make sure that your laser... Silas, shush! Make sure that your laser is at the highest point of your cup, which mine is, and we're good. All right, so perimeter for a 40 ounce is 320, diameter 101.9. We're going to select that. We're going to click ignore right now because we're just going to do one side at a time, okay? So big side, that's what we're doing first. You're going to adjust this green line. What I always do is I adjust it for where the tabs are. So refresh this so that I know where the tabs are. Okay, and I always drag this line just to the right of the tabs. See where the tabs are? Just to the right of the tabs. It's not exactly perfect, but I'm not worried about it. As long as it's close enough, it's close enough. Grab this, line it up. Make sure you don't go past the green line. Like I said, this one up here, it doesn't even matter. We're just going to move that out of the way because we'll do that later, okay? So this one, you got it lined up here. We got our power, our speed, our lines, sharpness, grayscale, all the way up. We did the measurement, 5.1. Make sure it says Chuck, 320. And then what we're going to do is we're going to double check to make sure that this is going to wrap all the way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to framing. Now what I do with framing is I click the little button, I turn the light all the way down so that it doesn't scratch your tumbler, turn the speed all the way up. Click framing. It's going to give them this little thing, and then you just push this button to check the framing. And that's what you want. You want it to trace that line, and you want it to come up right where the tabs are, which it is. Perfect. And then stop at that line and come all the way back. Now it should stop at the same place and go back down right where it was in the last. Perfect. If it does not, if it's too short, if it stops way back there, then you need to make, here, I'll show you. Okay, framing completed. If it stops way back over there before it even gets to the same spot, that means it's too short, which means you'd have to highlight this, and then come up here and change the size. So 318 wide. That means it's 318 around this way. All right, so the width of this is 318. The height is 136.1. Okay? So, I mean, basically, if it's too short, if it didn't trace the bottom line, if it was too high up, if both the lines were too high up, then you'd move the design down. If both the lines were too far down, you'd move the design up. If it didn't look like it was reaching there, then you'd up this by a couple of points. And if it doesn't reach all the way around side to side, then you lift this up by a couple. 318 is good. I could probably do 320. You know what? 320. 320. Because then it'll go inside to inside. So we're going to do 320 and 136.1. Okay. We're going to frame again and we're going to see what that changed. I mean, it was perfect. I could have just done it, but I'm experimenting so you can see what I do. Following the line. I probably do this like 10 times every time I make a cup. Right. So that's like right on the edge of the tab. Just following that line all the way down. There's another way you can tell that you've measured it right is that that line doesn't go wonky. See? Now it's directly on. It's not off even a little bit. So the design will touch end to end and be a perfect wrap. So you let it finish. You come back over here. Oh, by the way, when you're cutting a tumbler, you do not need the air assist. The air assist doesn't do anything for you. It just makes it get like smoke on it. Framing completed. We're not going to cut this yet. We're just going to cut this one. So we're going to come down here. All right, double check. Chuck, I did the distance, cylindrical, user-defined material. We did all the everything for it. It's on output. The other one's on ignore. we are good to go. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to click process. And then there's your design. If this design right here does not look like you want it to look, if it's black or all white, that means it's not going to do it right. So come up here, click start. It's going to send the file, and then when that says okay.
Hey, Iris, look it.
There we go, ready. Now we put the computer down. We come up here and we click ready.
And the star.
Then it should start. Side to side. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Also, the Air Assist likes to knock your tabs, because when the tabs are folded, when you have the Air Assist on, it hits the tabs when it gets there. So if it hits the tabs at first, it's going to move your cup out of alignment. And if it hits the tabs towards the end of it, it's going to mess up the last thing. So it'll just keep cutting in the same spot because the Air Assist nozzle is touching it. And you don't want that. So, see? It's cutting. Perfect. We'll be back when it's done cutting the top, and we'll do the bottom. All right, let's check it out. Looks good to me. Everything cut. But see, it's really dark. And sometimes I don't know if it cut all the way through to the metal when it's really dark. Because sometimes you just get the soot there. I mean, you can see a little bit of shine. So what I always do before you touch it, don't touch anything. Because you can have it recut exactly where it is right now if it needs to be recut. So what I do is I take a Q-tip. And we're going to take alcohol. I'm going to take alcohol, just put a little bit on the tip of the Q-tip, and we're just going to rub. Tiny little spot. We'll see if that comes off, or if it's not fully cut. What it's looking like right now is it look like it did cut all the way through. At least there it did. So see, bam, it did cut all the way through. So the black will wash off. Sweet, that's good. We're gonna check over here, because this is where it started. So this is where it started, this is where it ended. Just double checking that too to make sure that this side cut all the way through also, because I realized halfway through cutting this that I don't think I cleaned my laser before I started it. So I got a little excited. It looks like it did though. Alright. We're not going to touch it now. We're going to take the other side of the Q-tip. We got to cut the bottom. So again, Q-tip, we're going to clean the laser this time because I failed to do that last time. So, a little bit of alcohol on the end of your Q-tip. Squeeze it out so there's not like a whole lot on there, because alcohol will leave a residue on your laser and you don't want that. So find a little hole, just wiggle it around a little bit. Yeah. Grab a dry one. Get another little. Yeah, see? There's like some yuckies on there. All right. Now let's do the second half. So for this one, you're going to need the nifty little tool that came with it, because we're going to have to hand measure it because the laser is all the way up here and I don't want to move the cup because I want the bottom to line up with the top. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to close the lid here. I'm going to grab the computer. Alright, I confirmed, I cleaned my laser. And then we're going to go, okay, because we're done. We agreed, we like it like that, so we're going to go highlight that. And then we're going to turn that to ignore now, because that's the piece we're just saving it on the screen. We could just delete it, but we're saving it on the screen so we can save the file later. I already have the file saved, so I'm just going to delete it because I don't care. So, highlight that. Again, check the settings. Black and white, grayscale up, 80, 250, 200 lines. Line it up with the green, right where the So for this one, you're going to need the nifty little tool that came with it, because we're going to have to hand measure it because the laser is all the way up here, and I don't want to move the cup because I want the bottom to line up with the top. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to close the lid here. We're going to grab the computer. All right, I confirmed, I cleaned my laser. And then we're going to go, okay, because we're done. We agreed, we like it like that, so we're going to go highlight that, and then we're going to turn that to ignore now, because that's the piece we're just saving it on the screen. We could just delete it, but we're saving it on the screen so we can save the file later. I already have the file saved, so I'm just going to delete it because I don't care. So, highlight that. Again, check the settings. Black and white, grayscale up, 80, 250, 200 lines. Line it up with the green, right where the previous design was, and we're going to do the same thing. So you got size 320, perimeter 320, distance 5.1, that's where I have the issue. So, yeah, it's not 5, okay? So we need to click framing. Nope, the elements, okay. I'm sorry, I forgot. We have to output. Okay, then we're gonna do framing. And then put that down. Push the button, start the frame. When it gets to where you want it, oh yeah, see, that's definitely not the bottom line. No, no, no. The design's gonna have to come down, way down. This should come the same distance up as it did down. Sure did. So we just have to move the design. Cool. When it's on its way back down, I'm gonna open the lid to pause it. Okay, and pause. Do not look at it when you're lifting it to do the pause. Okay, I'm gonna take this down the side. You don't want to do it right here because the distance from that is way too far down. So we're gonna go sideways. We're gonna drop this down here. And see the distance is now 15, not 5. Okay, stick that in there. 15, like almost exactly. So 10, actually it's more like 16. So 10, 15, 16. Oh, 17. We're gonna go 16. We're gonna go with 16. Okay. Close this. Push the button so that it will finish. Framing completed for now. We're gonna do it again. You can never frame too many times, so oops. All right. There we go. Distance. It's more like 16. Enter. Okay. And then Chuck 320 auto planing. Cool. We're gonna do framing again. And press. Oh. Well, that was silly of me. Yep. I know. As I've been doing this a while, I'm gonna guess that that's probably like 50 clicks away from being lined up. So, framing completed, 50 clicks being if you highlight this and then you hit the up arrow on your keyboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. $50. At least close to it anyway. And we're gonna scoot it over. Oops. I probably went up a little more than I should have, but whatever. Frame it again. Check it again. Where are we now? Oh, look at that. Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. Alright. Lining up. Right on the line. Perfect, perfect. I'm just checking to make sure it comes down where it should. Right about there. Perfect. Done, done, and done. Okie dokie. Framing completed. Then we're going to process. Start. Sending the file for processing. Ready, and button, go. Alright, and we'll be back when that's done. And we're done. Check it out. Silver. Alright, we're good. Let's pull it out of here. Here's where I made a mistake and this became my cup. So, if you look, if it's not fully cut through to the metal, which would be fine if it was uniform, but see, when it got to right about where the N is, I realized that. And then I cleaned the lens. And then the rest of it cut properly like it should have. The bottom was after I did the lens. So, clean your lens. Make sure it's clean before every time you cut.